Hello friends, welcome to video 7. This is leading off from the last video of the texture techniques used for the horns. This in-screen view of him is an Eevee render. It gives a very flat and basic look of the textures so you can clearly see what details look like without external influences. I did very little hand painting. Most of the work is done with the baked-off maps in Blender. Color correction and layering techniques in Photopea. I have broken down the few colors that I want the texture to have beside the basic red that was baked out in Blender. The great thing with Blender is that PSD can be loaded in the nodes that makes it easy when working with Photopea. This is the first time I am creating a full textured character this way. The baked-off maps look great though. The quality of the sculpt and also the lighting affects the final bake. My goal here is to make the highlighted areas more saturated and warm tones, and the shadow areas more purple. I will achieve this by subtracting those areas by erasing it. I am doing this because I am a lazy mofo. Did you know it's been scientifically proven that lazy people are the most efficient? It might look very subtle the color tones, but that is important because in 3D renders with lights those slight tonal differences become extremely overblown. Before getting too carried away with the color texture, it's a good idea to pop in the spec and roughness or bump map. For the roughness map I used the spec map but just reversed it. If you prefer the look of bump map I usually just use the spec map and sneak it into the normal map node. I think I might have covered that in my Hound Dog series in the texture video. Link will be at end of video if you want to texture hand painting in Blender. Here I am mirroring the parts that are more even. I don't want the overly highlighted blown out areas of the maps. I probably should have adjusted the lights before the bake, but hey, what fun would that be? I am adjusting the spec map and evening out the tones and highlighting oily spots such as the nose and lips that would give more spec as well as the eyeline. I would say Photopea is really like GIMP version of Photoshop. It is very limiting and flaky and inconsistent. For professional use on a daily basis I would not recommend, but for hobbyist and lazy mofos like myself it does the trick. Trying on different HDRI maps. I am having a hard time deciding, but I think I want a even neutral lighting and some kind of stonework in the background for the texturing phase of this project. Here I am attempting to alter the HDRI map. I don't like how the background is similar tone to him, making him look washed out, but I do like the lighting as it's a good space to see all the maps. Also, his horn mesh is at level 1 or 2 for this, and his face is at level 2 or 3 in multi-resolution. In the base mesh mode, this close up. The lighting doesn't pick up the wrinkles and fine details well. Take note I still have my fill and rim light on even with this HDRI. I am rotating the HDRI map to adjust the angle of the lighting. Time to add some black into his map. Remember never to use true black for anything as that will render out poorly, and nothing really is pure black unless it's the black hole. Let's make his eyes pop. Boo-hoo-hoo, looks like I have to hand paint a tad. Some touch-ups on his lips and around his eyelids. I could spend an entire week finessing the crap out of his textures. But hey, I don't want to. I spent plenty of the time adjusting the tones as I wanted variations of hues and saturations. Wow, he looks bloody and meaty. What a creepy fella he is. This is my final color texture map for him. I wanted to create a more edgy and less rubbery version compared to the movie Legend. This is Cycle's render. I think his ears and skin shader need more tweaking. However, I have allowed myself one day to work on this part. Time to move on to rigging him. Also, I think for the final scene he will have dramatic lighting so most of these minor areas won't be noticeable at all. In the next video, I will be rigging his face. Hopefully it will go smoothly. See you next week.